All right, welcome to the AVNI Interviews. We're your hosts, Eric Bork and Mikey Taylor.
What up?
We're the co-founders of AVNI, an intelligence brand for influencers and entrepreneurs. Today's guest started his own apparel brand with $300 and has had huge success. He's a serial entrepreneur who recently retired his mother. His name is Randall Pich, and he's the CEO and sole founder, right?
Yep.
Of Live Fit Apparel. Randall, thank you for being on.
Thank you guys for having me. Excited.
We're stoked to have you. And I want to start off, I want to touch on this. You retired your mom, what, like 2 years ago?
I think so, yeah, around roughly 2 years ago, yeah.
Okay, so we always do research before these interviews.
Right.
And I was watching some of your interviews and I came across a story of your mom. So tell us about where she comes from. And for people who are watching, I basically watched the documentary that Angelina Jolie made,
right,
called First They Killed My Father, which is about the killing fields of Khmer. So tell us a little bit about your mom and where she comes from.
She came from the country of Cambodia. She fled over here, and I say fled because she escaped the communist regime. She came here, I think she was about 16 or 17, 18, roughly around that time. But she was born and raised over there and lived through, I want to say like 4 or 5 years under the regime of the communist regime. And this is like a genocide that took place that not a lot of Americans know, only in Southern California where there's a lot of Cambodian population. But yeah, there was a huge genocide where millions of people were just slaughtered, teachers, educated people, doctors and stuff. The person, Pol Pot, that took over the regime wanted to literally zero and dummy down the whole country just so everyone would be equal, because he thought that was like the right way to live or whatever, But yeah, she lived through that. She had to wear the same type of clothes, eat the same amount of food, have the same haircut. Every little girl had to cut their hair short.
It was the bangs, right?
Yeah, something like that. Straight right here and then straight right around there. And then, it was just people. She saw people get massacred, people just get murdered and stuff for talking back. It was a very brainwashed way of living. And before that, I did a little bit more research too, not too long ago. Like Cambodia was very, very civilized. It was up there with with Vietnam, Thai, and just like the economy was really, really blowing up until the Vietnam War started. And then that's where Pol Pot started getting, this ideology about communism and stuff, and started brainwashing everybody and got, people corrupted and, took over. Yeah.
And I want to throw this out there just because for people listening that don't know about this, and this was in your interview with Andy Frisella that I watched.
Correct.
They believe that there were more people killed, and I'm not stating this as a fact, but with the Holocaust, the Germans were very specific about keeping record. And so we know that there were about, I believe, 12 million people overall that were killed. Right. But they believe that in the killing fields of Khmer, there were actually more. Yes. Not just there, but in the whole genocide in general, that there were actually more than the Holocaust, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's insane. Like a huge chunk of the population just literally disappeared.
And she probably saw a lot of crazy things during that.
Yeah, she would tell me now that I ask, and actually not too long ago when I went over to Minnesota to visit my grandma, she told me some crazy stories too. So she's seen a lot of stuff because she was an adult at that time, My mom was about 12 to 15 years old during the whole thing, so she couldn't really remember, but
I couldn't imagine as a 12-year-old seeing. So for anybody that wants to see more, watch the movie that Angelina Jolie put out. It's really well done. And then I just wanted to start off with that because it's pretty fascinating to go from there to your story and you retiring her. It's a pretty fascinating story. So
right.
She came to the U.S., you said, when she was 15?
Yeah, I don't know the exact date, but
around
because she did a little bit of high school here.
Okay.
Like during her senior year, I think she went down to John Glenn for a bit, and then.
And she came into Long Beach, correct?
Yes. Yeah, Lakewood,
and
Long Beach
area.
Born? I was born in Long Beach.
You're born in Long Beach. Okay, so she came over here, Long Beach. You're born in Long Beach, and then from there you basically start Live Fit. Let's jump forward a little bit. And talk about where you're at today. So Live Fit, how much you doing these days? I know you're not going to tell me.
Yeah, I know the numbers thing is a little bit, but I'll tell you this: my first year, we broke $1 million.
First year,
yeah.
And you're
so
6 years in.
6 years deep now. So, and we've had tremendous growth from then. So
Eric loves putting you on the spot right away.
Yeah. I do it every time. I do it every time. Okay, so let's actually though, just to give the people an idea, how big's your warehouse?
My warehouse right now is 32,000 square feet.
32,000 square foot warehouse for Live Fit.
It's like a Costco.
You're doing pretty good, man. You're tired.
I'm all right.
Pretty big warehouse. So you're doing really good. Let's jump a little bit more into your story and your background. So tell us about your start with your first apparel company.
The first few, I guess you could say, companies were just, as like I think I was in high school, my sophomore, junior year. It was just a clothes that my friends designed and just sold them as skateboarders and as kids that were into like hardcore music or whatever. We just wanted to design some clothes and rock it. So it wasn't ever like the purpose was never to build like this corporate company or anything. It was just having fun, design some clothes. And the first one was the first official one, or actually, if you want to backtrack even more, because I played in bands too, like in my sophomore year. So playing in bands, we would make merchandise. So I guess, I had to learn how to silk screen t-shirts and stuff like that during the band days. But then later when the band didn't go through, then I started skateboarding brands or streetwear brands, and the first one was called Ruckus. That was in high school.
It was Ruckus?
Ruckus, yeah, Rukkus, yeah. So I had that, and then, I started that clothing brand. And we made a MySpace. It was like back then, I had the top 10, whatever. I had skaters on the team, which he was one of the skaters on the team back then. And then we sponsored hardcore bands, and it was just like all for fun, It was everything I learned was just really just doing it with the flow of it, And that never really popped off, but it did teach me a lot of lessons as well. Yeah. It taught me where to go, silkscreen, what companies to use, what blanks to use, how to research everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it was merch. You started selling merch for a band. That's what was your first apparel brand.
Pretty much, yeah. You can say that. It was like a mixture. I can't
the first one was merch for the band, but then you started Ruckus, which was a just skate kind of lifestyle brand.
Exactly, and that was all in like high school years. Yeah.
And did you had accounts?
No, it was all direct still. Yeah, it was direct. We had like consignment accounts and whatever, but we were just kids, just having a good time. Yeah.
Okay. And was it just you?
It was me, and I had an old partner, Matt Mayo. Yeah, he was my old partner.
Okay.
Yeah, buddy
and then
of mine.
So Ruckus eventually turned into Live Fit?
No, Ruckus just died off.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like way back. We had our own silk screening press, so we were like printing our own shirts. This is like when.
Oh, so you set up the press from the beginning?
Yeah, I bought a silk screening press. It was like a 4-color press. Put it in the garage and literally printed our own shirts and used like our own conveyor dryer. Literally everything. Burned our own light screens and everything. Yeah. So I learned all that stuff like when I was like 14 years old.
And so did you go to college at all?
I did, yeah.
Oh,
I did later, yes.
You have a degree?
I don't have a degree though, but I went to college 6 years, and we'll get into that later if you want to talk about that, yeah.
Gnarly.
Yeah.
Okay, so then walk us through. You went Ruckus, and then that turned into...
So Ruckus didn't turn into anything. That just taught me a lot of stuff.
No, I'm saying, so what was the next company you did?
So after Ruckus didn't go through... that's when I started getting into fitness and started going to personal training.
Gotcha.
And that was the end of my senior year, coming towards the end. And then I applied to Long Beach State, and that's when I got in. Mm-hmm. So then I got accepted and discovered the Department of Kinesiology. And that's when I was like, oh shit, okay, this personal training. That's when I discovered that job. And I was like, okay, maybe I can do this for a living because I'm already working out. Yeah. So I applied at Corporate Valleys, got hired, and obviously the knowledge you learn from silk screening and stuff, you don't throw that stuff away. You keep that in your back pocket.
Totally.
So I always knew that stuff, but I continued to personal train. I built my personal training business at Bally's first. This is while I was still going to college because you can make a lot of money with, a short amount of time with that type of job. So I worked at Bally's for about 5 years going through college, and then eventually quit Bally's and built up my clientele and went to a private gym. And then from that private gym, that's when I started Live Fit. But Live Fit was just a slogan for my personal training business, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
I know I'm going pretty fast.
No, that's just for me not even having an idea.
Yeah.
How much can you make being a personal trainer?
Dude, I was making almost 6 figures working like 6 hours a day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then
And this is before social media started popping off?
Facebook was,
And were you building following on Facebook?
Yeah, it wasn't on purpose. It was just me like showcasing what I did and just putting it out there. Yeah.
And so you were a trainer, so you had clients. Were you also entering in? Was there competitions or?
Yeah, so I got into bodybuilding my freshman year of college when I was like 19. Yeah, I remember that. I did my first bodybuilding competition then, and really got into fitness. So that's how I got into the kinesiology department. Because I wanted to study something with like the human anatomy or exercise science when I got into college. So that's when I discovered personal training and started. I want to go that route.
And just so we don't skip it, did you also, I can't remember, did you study design in college, or is that something you learned on your own?
No, so I took my first and last graphic design course my sophomore year in high school.
In high school, okay.
Yeah, so I learned Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator, and that's where I actually learned how to silkscreen too, because in that course, one of the things you had to learn was how to make a t-shirt from scratch.
So you've known how to do that since you were a sophomore in high school?
Yeah, 14.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're actually like a man of many trades.
I know. That's what I was saying all the time.
We had dinner a couple weeks ago, and he does a lot.
Yeah. I know. It is. Yeah, I just can't sit still, I guess. Maybe I got ADD.
Maybe you got it too.
Well, now we got to put context. We had a conversation. Mikey just discovered he's ADHD.
I found out 2 days ago. Yeah. And everyone I tell kind of goes...
Is that already
Okay. So you started LiveFit as like your personal brand,
just for your clients, or
So let me jump back into that. So at Bally Total Fitness, you can't really brand your own business because you're under Bally's corporate, right? Mm-hmm. But once I left that, I was able to rent out a gym at No Limits. This was like a private gym where they leased out to personal trainers to run their own business. So I brought my clientele there and built up even more of a clientele. And my personal training business was RP Fitness for Randall Pich Fitness. And then I had a slogan, and that slogan was just Live Fit. So I would actually put that on the merch when I make merch for my clients. And then I would just put it online and, showcase it on Facebook, make videos, and, just take before and after pictures.
Yeah.
I was the designer, so I could make ads and stuff like that,
Did you, just curiosity, did you trademark the slogan back then?
No. Okay. We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So,
so did you kind of get into a situation where people resonate? What the fuck word am I looking for?
Resonate?
No. Were you getting more recognition?
There
it is. Recognition for LiveFit. Was that kind of getting more than Randall Pich Fitness? Is that what it's originally called?
Yes.
Like how did you take it from
People
Randall
had
Pich
to have seen the brand and be like, this is cool. I mean, the first time you see it, you're like, Live Fit. Yeah, I want to do that.
Exactly.
So it makes sense.
Yeah, but I think it popped off even more because of what I showcased with it.
Gotcha.
When I was making these videos, I was really showcasing like a camaraderie type of family. Like when I was training, because in my clientele, it wasn't just like young people. I was training like doctors, lawyers, surgeons. Like I had all walks of faces coming through in and out of my business. So people were looking at that like, dude, Randall's actually, I'm helping out people like no matter who their background was. I was college students to old professionals, and these people were rocking Live Fit, and people really, really, tied, or what do you call, had an emotional attachment to that, saying, hey, I want to be a part of this, So I would either get leads, which were people that wanted to train with me, or people that were too far away but still wanted some way to be a part of it. So that's when I started getting,
that's kind of when the light went off.
Clothes,
Yeah.
So I started just selling the stuff out of my trunk to local people, and then later selling it on an e-commerce platform because like I said, I put it on Facebook. I was reaching to people that wasn't in California. So they're like, hey, how can I get this shirt if I'm not training with you?
Yep.
So
siren break.
Gosh, that was
you're in LA,
dude. We're here
in Burbank.
It's not that hood, but it's not the nicest, I guess. Talking about the nicest, so this was all happening in Long Beach.
Yes.
And
those sirens were a good segue.
They were a perfect segue.
Let's talk about East Side Long Beach.
So you grew up east. Where did you grow up?
Yeah, in East Side Long Beach. Yeah, I was born and raised in East Side. Yeah.
Okay, and that's
a pretty rough part. Yeah, but Long Beach is a pretty big city. It's almost as big as LA. It takes like a huge chunk of LA County. You got your really nice parts of Long Beach. You got like the Naples, Belmont shores where there's, very like wealthy people living there. Then you got like the north side, east side, where like Snoop Dogg's from, and you know, we're all like where you hear about stuff in the movies and shit. From what was that one movie that just came out? Was it Straight Outta Compton or? Yeah, like that. You know, it's just like that.
So we used to. I don't even know if you were around for this. We have a mutual friend, Terry Kennedy. Grew up on, 21st and Atlantic, maybe?
Yes, yeah.
And, he told us stories one day.
Dude. I was like, I was 17 at this point. Paul was 16. Spanky was like 16, right?
And how old were we? We were like...
How old are you now?
I am 30.
Oh, yeah, I'm 5 years older than you.
Yeah, but Terry Kennedy, he's older than us, right?
Yeah, Terry's probably 32 now. But we used to go pick him up. This was... 16 years ago, right?
That's crazy.
And it was like 4 white kids rolling down 21st Street, and every single person outside is looking. It's like, who the fuck?
Oh, I did go once with you. We went to his garage. Yeah.
Oh, you went to his garage. And it was like, Big Mike, Black Mike. He had so many
Black
cousins
Mike.
with all these like names. It was like, and that we go up, and they were so cool to us. It was like we were like thought we were the shit. Kind of like all these dudes were like down with us. We thought we could walk up the block. Sketchiest neighborhood.
But his grandma was like, why are you bringing?
Yeah,
them
when
here?
we first came up, his grandma was like, Terry, what are you doing with these kids here?
Oh shit.
Well, she was concerned for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a.
Yeah, but it's cool. Like, I mean, you can be welcoming as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not all like crazy. It just depends on where you're at, or know.
Of course,
you got to know who you're with and whatnot, especially a certain area, especially his area.
Yeah,
you know. So yeah.
So you had a couple of those though. So is that, when did the clothing store come into play?
So this was literally out of the blue. I was in college. I was already running my personal training business. And then I just had this random opportunity to buy into a t-shirt store with my buddy Bruce that currently still owns the shop, but he bought me out later. Obviously, I don't own it anymore. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll buy into it because I know the t-shirt game and whatnot. So I did, because I saw money in it. I saw potential growth in it. And one thing about Long Beach is that everyone that's from the city is very prideful of that city, you know? And everyone wants to rep it. So one thing that we did at the shop too was design like Long Beach style clothing, LBC clothing, and sell
Super
it to
smart.
the consumers, and that's how we scaled that business.
Nice.
And that taught me a lot too, but it taught me a lot of like in-person retail customer service, because I didn't have that prior. I only did like personal training and stuff,
Gotcha.
So, but yes, that's where that t-shirt store came from, and that was off of Molino and Anaheim, which is like in the east side right there.
And something happened. Somebody came in.
Oh yeah, I got some crazy stories.
Tell us a couple stories.
Yeah. So I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff to bums coming in, gangsters fighting, like the enemies come in, like cross gangs. And then I remember this one time, this one Mexican dude, he came in. And I think he was already like messed up in the head. I think he like did some drugs or whatever. But he was from East Salongo, which is like they don't like Cambodians. They're like EBK, like everybody killer. They're against everybody, right? He came in. He tried to buy a white T-shirt with this fake $5 bill, and I was there. I was like, hey, you can't buy this. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful.
Obviously
yeah,
fake.
it was like fucking tissue paper, dude. I was like, you fucking serious? And he's like, oh, you don't want to sell this to me because I'm a Mexican, because I'm a donkey? I'm like, nah, fool, this shit's fucking fake. I can't take it. He's like, all right, I'm gonna come back and fucking kill all y'all motherfuckers. He's like, fuck Nips. He went outside. He started yelling and all this shit, and I was like, fuck, are you fucking serious?
Because you have to take that serious.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, and I know what gang he's from, and they don't fucking play. So my business partner Bruce is like, fuck, all right. Took the shotgun. We had a fucking shotgun right there. Loaded that shit. Just fucking cocked it back, and just put the safety on. And we're just waiting for that fool. And he was like, if that fool comes back, aim right there. Just point it this way and fucking shoot. He's like, just point it and fucking shoot. You will blast the fucking whole wall. It's like, you don't have to aim, just fucking, because shit like that happens. Like if he's going to come back, we're dead or that fool's dead. And it's like, hey, we got to make a fucking choice. And I was like, hey, you got to be down for that shit. I'm not going to fucking shut down my shop just for that. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, no, I might have shut it down, dog.
It's fucking
I might
crazy,
have shut
dude.
it down.
Yeah, but that's like, that was like one of the crazy stories, and there's a lot.
Damn. So you have a good background in apparel and retail.
Right, yeah.
A good background.
Yeah, but it sounds like you have a good background in direct also.
Direct, and I guess everything that life's thrown at me, I kind of just learn from it. So I got a good background in pretty much everything.
So it sounds like with Live Fit, you kind of launched it direct.
Yes, I did launch it direct. Yeah.
And then was there a point where you started selling to retail?
So when I started popping LiftFit off, so once LiftFit started really taking off, I was still personal training, right?
Yeah.
And so I wasn't really focused on getting accounts. I was just focused on getting new designs and just making my clients happy and my new clients happy, you know? So that's all I did, was just focus on making designs. And then it came to a point where because I was a solo guy, like I did everything myself. There was a point where there was just way too many orders. I was just fucking taking so much time packing and stuff like that, to the point where I was overwhelmed, and you know, I was getting money while I was sleeping, and I wasn't used to that, because when you're personal training, you're at a service job.
Yep.
You're trading your time for a service.
Yep.
With this, you're getting money when you sleep. Okay, and I was like, fuck, dude, this is really taking off. But I was having a hard time because I'm really close to my clients. You know, these clients are been with you for years. You know, and you get personal because, you know, you're kind of like they're psychiatrists when you're personal training. You got a lot of rest times and whatnot, so you get very close with them. But I had to make this decision, which was like kind of heartbreaking at first. You know, like, hey, I have to shut down my personal training business, and I want to follow my dreams and start this apparel company, because I've been in so many apparel, or I had started so many apparel companies before that didn't pop off. This was already popping off, so I eventually closed that down, and then
and you could recognize it right away that this was different than the
exactly.
other ones.
Yeah.
I was scaling it, or I was like spreading myself so thin to the point where I was telling everybody, like, dude, what should I do? What should I do? You know what I mean? And then finally I just made the choice, because I was like, dude, this thing is going this way. And, you know, I eventually gave some of my clients to some other trainers that worked for me at the time, that still train with my friends today that are trainers. So they're in good hands. And then eventually just went 110% with LiftFit.
And were you able to was it kind of like a perfect transition where kind of LiftFit was making as much as you were making?
Yes.
So you didn't have to like step away and kind of get a little tight.
Exactly. So I made sure that was at first, that LiftFit made as much money as the personal training business, so I wouldn't be, you know, sacrificing a lot, you know. And then once I did dedicate 110%, just the revenue spiked even that much more, you know.
So do you have any specific numbers? And if you don't have those numbers from back then, do you remember kind of what the initial spikes were?
Dude, we were having I want to say like 500% growth rate every month.
Wow.
And it was fucking nuts, dude. It was I remember we were doing man, we made our like a first like 50,000. I was like, oh fuck, dude. And then went to like 100,000. Then went to like a $500,000. Then we're like, dude, we just hit a fucking $1 million.
And you're funding this from you're basically purchasing all the gear with your physical training money.
Yeah, so
buying and then flipping. Yeah, basically
so
selling.
That initial investment, that $300 that you spoke about, that was just from my savings from personal training, personal training business, and that $300 from my first batch of t-shirts. Each shirt, you know, roughly is like $5-6, you know, and then you sell it for 25 or whatever. I just never touched that money and let it snowball and create another SKU to another SKU and restock the old ones and let it snowball.
And what year was this?
This was 2012, 13.
2012. Okay, so you're at this point you're going direct, and you're
it's all direct. Okay. Yeah.
So 2012 was when it started to kind of boom and go up.
Yep.
Okay. And then that 300, you just turned it and then turned it and then turned it, and it just kept turning.
No loans.
People still like are in fucking disbelief. I don't know why. I'm like, dude,
it's hard to believe. That's
we do a skateboard and clothing brand. And
but if you think about it this way,
we didn't do it like you did.
Yeah. But if you think about it this way, if you have like a sufficient amount of money to live off of, and then you just let this thing roll over, and you just do the simple arithmetic math, like it's just gonna make sense. You spend 5, you get back 20. So then you have, 15 more. So I'm going to get 3 more shirts, restock, and it just adds up that way. It's just simple math. But because I was able to live off of my personal training money at the time and let this thing roll over and do the simple math and actually let it snowball, I didn't have to market whatever the market was already there. The consumers were already there. So if I sold out, it was okay. I knew they were going to buy it as soon as I restocked.
Yeah.
So you covered your living and just turned it and turned it.
Yeah, and just never touched that initial investment. Because a lot of times too, people don't have the market. So they do $300, let's say, and then they can't fucking sell it.
Right.
But I had the opposite of that problem. I had the selling out problem. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I have something good. This is where I was like, hey, and this is when I was like, hey, I got to close the business down because I didn't know when it was going to stop.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's I mean, it's never happened to me that way. That seems like I don't want to say unicorn, it's not, but I don't think that happens often where you have something and you are able to build something on the side that sounds like it got to however much you were making relatively quick.
Yeah, real quick.
And also though, let's talk about this though. He did that after, what was that, clothing company number 5? This wasn't like you started a clothing company.
Yeah,
the first one, you flipped it all. You had your bases covered because you had done this before.
Yeah, this was just me being optimistic while I was training. Like I said, this wasn't my end goal wasn't to have Live Fit Apparel. It was to have RP Fitness super successful.
Yeah.
But I seen this door when I seen the fucking shirts just selling out. I was like, oh, dude,
and that's one of the things that bother me about a lot of entrepreneur stories is people tell them like, I did this, not you, but like the podcast or whatever. They'll tell them like, this happened. It was huge. And that you put a lot of work into the background and your knowledge of apparel.
Right.
And you learned at 14 how to print your own shirts. Right. And this is the part that I think entrepreneurs need to see is you paying the dues of figuring out how to print your shirt. You printed shirts for Long Beach, which is a really smart move.
Right.
Because everybody in Long Beach is going to buy those. You had your bases covered. So I like touching on that stuff just because it shows kind of all the work that went into it.
Right. Yeah.
So sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to keep
it's all
good.
I totally agree with you. I think it's you're fascinating. Dude. Most people learn all this stuff as they go through it, right? And it's like the beginning are not only growing pains with the business, but you're trying to kind of figure this shit out also.
Oh yeah,
right?
for sure.
Kind of had it figured out already.
Yeah, that's what entrepreneurship is all about. You know, you learn, you fuck up, but you take those and you put them in your back pocket and apply it to your next lesson or the next whatever scenario. You know.
Yeah. So you start direct. I know you're in some retail now.
Yes, yeah.
When did you make the decision and why to go retail?
Our main focus wasn't going to retail, but I didn't want to close those doors because I knew some people still wanted to go the old school way and go on and try the shirts on and whatever. So I hired a wholesale guy or whatever. Well, actually, I did it first myself. Literally.
A sales guy or?
Actually, this was later down the road. I was doing a lot of stuff myself. It was me and this girl I hired, Chulin, a while back. It was me and her just literally doing everything. You know, and we got hit up from like nutrition stores, from other local stores to like, hey, how can we get an account? And I was like, fuck, dude, we don't even have a catalog or nothing, but this is what I have on the website. If you want it, let us know. I can give you some wholesale pricing. And then sure enough, they did. But one thing we always did too is we always kept it very selective. Every store had to get my approval because we had the leverage. So you want to get into this conversation now, like we have the leverage now. So that gives these retail and big box stores, like, you know, they don't understand that, you know, when the big guys are hitting us up, I'm like, you got to play by our rules. We have this minimum, you better hit it. And we don't play by your terms, you play by our terms. Yep. So there's no net 30s up front. I was like, no, because we're going to bring traffic to your store.
Yeah.
No net 30s.
Fuck what that. Are you paying up front and then we would deliver your shit when I tell you.
Amazing.
You know why? You know why?
You get a round of applause,
Good for you.
But you know why? Because nowadays we hold the market. On our social media platforms, we hold a market. If I put my stuff in your stores, I'm bringing you fucking exposure. You're not bringing me shit. I already have my exposure right here on my phone. I can get to my customers right here. If I put it in your store, you know what that means? I'm giving up a little bit of my brand.
A little bit of your margin.
For exposure for you, for your stores. You see what I'm saying? So it went backwards, right? You see?
Love it.
So, and then we always kept our foot down and, you know, and played hardball. Still to this day, you know, I'm very selective.
What are some of the majors so I guess, is it the fitness space or is it just apparel?
So the thing is, in the fitness world, the apparel game isn't that big. So mostly nutrition stores, those type of stores
will carry your brands.
Yeah. So we're in a ton of those type of stores. And then we started getting into surf shops and stuff. Our biggest one is Locomotion. They have about 12 shops in the islands over there in Hawaii. Okay. Those are like, I think those they are our biggest store, but they're still mom and pop, you know. But we just like to keep it family oriented. People that like to work with us, you know. Okay. And like I said, we don't play terms, so
I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to go through right now. Like if I know there's majors that we deal with. If I said that to them, there's no way. No. It's just not going to happen, right?
It probably will happen later.
Just in this where we live now, right? I think we're all kind of in agreement that retail is not only going through a massive change,
right?
It's not done.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, right.
But right now, there's no way we're not even getting a net 30 with majors. It's closer to 60, 45 to 60.
Yeah.
Or we have to bring our margin even further down.
Oh my God, yeah. That's rough.
That's basic. I'm proud of you and jealous at the same time.
Exactly.
You know. So you guys are selling product in gyms.
Yeah, gyms and some gyms, but more like nutrition stores.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you actively growing the retail business now?
We're not like going full force on it. We have we have a wholesale department, but we're just taking calls in. We've rarely, I don't think ever. Like,
so I want to ask a specific question because
but
I've always wondered this. What percentage, how much do gyms do in apparel?
Actually, now the game is changing, because the supplement business is hard to get into because the margin's not that great. And now they're finding out that apparel has a lot of better margins.
Wait, supplements margins aren't good?
No, they're crap.
They are?
Yeah.
I was always under the impression that they were through the roof.
Like proteins, pre-workouts, that kind of stuff. But compared to apparel, I don't think,
Okay.
Yeah. It depends on how much they hike it up, but now everyone's so competitive.
So now gyms are seeing that there's actually good margin in apparel, is what you're saying?
Right, yes.
And so they're trying to get more apparel.
Trying to get more apparel, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like in the front store. So as far as a business, how does that do for you?
It still does fine,
What's your split between retail and e-com?
E-com retail is probably, I'd say, like 5%, 10%. We have about like 100 accounts right now, but still, it's only
your e-com's that big.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
So e-com's 90%.
That's amazing.
If probably maybe more.
That's amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
So is there any part of you that when you start, and I know you're really hands-on about what retail accounts pick up, what product, and
right.
I imagine how they display it. You can lose control on how your brand is portrayed when you sell it to someone else to sell.
Exactly.
Right? Do you have any, I don't know if fear is the right word, but do you think about that? Do you think about like not letting your brand get out to too many people, affecting your image?
Yep. Yeah, we've had some issues prior to it, and this is more on the international accounts. Of us. Yeah, dude. So like, we have some pretty strict rules in our contracts about not having us being displayed in a certain way or whatnot. And some of these, like I said, the international accounts, one of them specifically in China and Hong Kong and stuff, did this the wrong way. So there's no mercy with me. And I tell them straight up, I'm like, hey, pull the account.
Can you give us an example of how not to portray it?
Well, kind of doing their own stuff, kind of mimicking our logo and stuff too. They'll make a design, because this is how I feel a lot of companies are doing, or not companies, a lot of stores, and I've noticed this, and I never spoke about this before ever. They use our leverage to gain traction to their page, and then they start making their own merchandise and knocking off our designs. And then I'm like, nope, fuck that. Let's cut this shit. And like I said, you can ask my wholesale guy, John Merlo. I have no mercy against these retailers, because I laid it out in the front. I'm like, hey, if we get you an account, we're going to give you guys exposure. So obviously the game's turned around, and if there's only one wrong move on this, there's nothing. We'll just cut you off.
That's the Trader Joe's model.
Oh yeah.
They bring in a product. The product starts doing well, and then once they know that it's a hot product, then they kind of let that go out, and they bring the Trader Joe's brand in.
See, but then we have leverage because of social media, so I will put that fucking company on blast. And then all followers are loyal, so they'll go and talk shit on the fucking page. So that's that market. What do you call it? We have like
you have a hold on it.
Yeah, we have a hold on it. You know.
Yeah, and that's the
skater. Control.
That's the skater. I think
that's the skater.
You want to fuck with us? All right, you got it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Love it.
That's really cool. So, are you guys really big on all your target marketing, or are you spending a lot of money for advertising through your platforms?
Believe it or not, we spend zero on ads. Zero.
No way.
$0. Zero. Yeah.
It's
all
organic.
one of our marketing guys right here, Miguel. He does. We do just email blasts, and that's it. And Instagram and all the free platforms. Obviously, the algorithm's kind of fucking us up right now, but we still have not spent. We never did a fucking sponsored ad ever.
So is there do you see in your future you hitting a point where you need to introduce that?
Maybe just to try it, to spend some money, maybe just to see.
Because I know you hear about.
Oh, of course, yeah. We actually spend money on other, I would say, marketing tactics, as far as like retargeting or abandoned carts. What do you call it? I mean, there's a ton of other stuff.
Yeah. So
we do pay for like the because our subscribers are pretty high in our email listing, so we have to pay for that. So if you can include that, but as far as like advertising and force feeding,
like
marketing,
a dark post, right?
Yeah. We don't do that. We had a billboard one time on 2nd Street where we ate at. We had dinner. We had a billboard, and it wasn't for advertising. It was just me to say, I fucking made it in my home city.
I love it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. People were like, dude, did you get a good return? I was like, I don't care fuck about the return. I just want fucking people to know, like, hey, I made it, dude. That's Randall. It just said Live Fit Apparel. It didn't even have the website or nothing.
Yeah.
It just had
to
our
me,
logo.
To me,
That's
the billboard's
amazing.
not. This could be a skewed view, but I don't think billboards return
At
in
all.
sales
Dude,
at all.
when you're-
It's just it's not only a statement, but it's like
Exactly.
People
That's what
have
it
a
is.
perceived
Yeah.
value of your brand when they see a big ass billboard on 2nd Street,
Yeah.
right? It's same thing with like Diamond doing it, and it's we did a couple with Villager, and it was the same thing. I don't think it helped for shit in our sales, but dude, I got so many DMs. Dog, you guys already have a billboard. They just think you're.
It builds integrity, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And when you're driving down the street, are you looking up? No, you're looking at your phone. I don't like hate to say that, but you're looking down here. You're like, I know.
Yeah.
So before I forget, do you have any, back to the algorithm for 1 second, have you noticed, do you track individually when you do campaigns with certain influencers?
Yes.
So have you noticed those campaigns a decrease because of the algorithm?
Yes, but we have our own what do you call programming or whatever, how we keep track of everything. But we track everything to the T for every influencer, the time they post, how much engagement it is, how many people save their stuff, the impressions, everything.
You track that. How do you get that info from them?
No, from our page, because when we post, we would post.
So you give them a code. They have to have a. They use
they have a
or
code
something?
too as well. But you know how, because
you.
ours is a
Okay.
business account, you can see the algorithm or the what do you call it?
So you're tracking
The
on your
analytics and
page,
analytics, yeah.
when a certain influencer posts, you're tracking on your page the impact that has on your page. And then
then
obviously you can track your site and sales and stuff.
Yep, site sales, the codes as well, everything. We track it to the T, So
And what have you seen? I know the answer to this question, but have you seen a decrease in the return from influencers?
yes, it's
Because
been
of the
huge,
algorithm.
dude.
I
Yeah,
think it's.
because
I think it's more than just the algorithm, but
it's more
wanna hear
now
your-
because we've been studying this like in and out, because we're in the forefront of this. No one's gonna fucking tell us the real, how it is, because
Totally.
like
Yeah,
I said,
won't.
but we're noticing now that some influencers just don't sell because they're not they may have like 8 million followers, but they're just looking at this girl or whatever because of how hot she is or whatnot, but she can't sell, and I'm gonna throw this out there too. We did a test, we have we're just trying to figure out who's the biggest influencer for the company, so we did this whole test in analytics, and we ran the codes and all this stuff. The influencers, our team of athletes, whatever, they bring about, take a guess, how much do you think of the revenue in sales total, like a percentage? We have a team of like 15 people.
15
So
influencers.
what the percentage of sales are from those influencers?
Yeah, from our total. Right.
Compared to the total amount of sales.
Like how much do you think they contribute?
I'm going to let Mikey guess at this one.
This I would say a point.
Oh, okay, no. So it's roughly like 9%.
Oh, okay, that's
from
higher
the
than
total
that.
revenue. Yeah.
Okay, that's
people
higher than I
think
thought.
like some people think they're like 30%,
Oh, shit, I go
40%.
31%, dude.
Yeah, no.
Dude, that's that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, but then out of that, we're trying to test like, fuck, dude. Now we're figuring out that the man behind it, which I hate to say it too, and I even asked Miguel, our head photographer, that my personal page, whatever, does the greatest. And it's just like, fuck, dude, that's where this generation is moving now. The companies, they want to see who's behind the actual company.
Yeah, totally. And remember how this thing was born, right?
Right.
This thing was born because of you,
Right.
right? And not only that, it's like, dude, in this day and age, people have caught on to influencers and how they make money, and that's very different than you talking about your brand, and people resonate with that. People they follow you, they want to support you. It's a lot different than oh, this person's works out and has a Live Fit shirt and she's telling me to go buy it. It's not going to have the same impact.
It's not
as you.
organic, yeah.
No, it's like, I mean, think about it, dude. Who's gonna sell more Teslas? Elon Musk talking about go buy this Tesla, or like some random Instagram model that he paid?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I'm saying?
No, for sure.
That's what it should be. That's exactly what it should be.
Yeah. So now, like when we choose our influencers, it's not as much as like if they can sell. It's who can vibe with the company and add different types of value. Like who is actually making an impact through the fitness world, not necessarily selling clothes, but just providing different types of value.
Totally. Think about it. With marketing, it's like so much of it is storytelling and connecting with people, right? And if you just pay somebody to post something, there's no true connection. But if you're talking about bringing on influencers or ambassadors that are kind of part of this actual thing, people resonate more.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what that's why I got to give it up to my athletes and my ambassadors, dude. Every one of them contribute and bring their own value, whether it doesn't necessarily have to be like fucking selling clothes and shit, but they're bringing like fitness value. They're impacting lives, motivating girls, men and women, so it's that type of value you want your brand to affiliate with, you know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
So
well, that's awesome. Good to understand behind it, because I think people do want to see a leader. And I've noticed in Live Fit, I've noticed you in the content, and I like seeing that as opposed to seeing a different person. Not to downplay the influencers,
right? No,
but
100%.
People like to see a leader. They like to see who's behind it and what's going on. It's very interesting. When I was researching for the interview, I watched a bunch of your interviews, and it was really cool to know about your story. And I think that really grabs people. So that's good to know. Thanks for sharing that, man.
Yeah, I do too. Have you had any offers yet?
As far as buying?
Acquisite, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I had one, I think 2 years deep into the game. It was a nutrition store.
So about 4 years ago.
I'm sorry. Yeah. How long has Live Fit been around? Six years?
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 4 years in?
Yeah. Oh no, 2 years in.
2 years
I think. Yeah. I had 2 acquisitions, and then these guys came in, big ball players, and just hanging money over my head.
Can you say the amount?
Yeah, they offered, one of them offered $5 million, which was a lot at the time. I was like, oh shit, $5 million. I was fucking.
They wanted to buy the whole thing.
No, they still wanted me in it, but he wanted a percentage.
They wanted to buy into it.
Yeah.
Majority or minority?
We didn't even get that far. Okay. I was just like, nah, dude, I'm cool, man. I'm having fun. Straight up, I went to the meeting, 2 meetings, and I heard them out, and I just just to hear the offer, see what they can do, and I was like, you know what, I'm having fun right now, dude, and I think. In my head, I knew, dude, it's got to be organic. It's got to be me doing this shit for fun, for the love of it, because it's gonna come off organic, and that's just the way we're moving. Technology's moving. It's just like, just you and your fans, you and your customers, So I was like, you know what? Sorry, no money's gonna fucking buy me right now, dude. I'm chilling, dude. I'm having fun.
Yeah, love it. I love it. I totally love it. That's awesome.
And that seems like that was the right decision.
Yeah, right decision. Yep. And like everything we built now, we have roughly 30 employees. We provide full health benefits, dental, eye, and everything for, it's crazy. And we built
tell
that
us
from
about
scratch,
your employee.
dude.
Tell us a little bit about that. That's always interesting. Your culture at Live Fit.
Yeah. Dude, we've hired and had to really dial in our culture, because in the beginning, people that grow with you sometimes feel a different type of way once you start maturing and stuff, and then you're like, okay, you got to weed these people out, so we've been through those hard times, but now we have roughly, like I said, 30 employees. I think half of them are full-timers, and everyone's just fucking vibing, and it's cool. Everyone's fucking getting along. We're all professional. Everyone knows what they're doing, what their jobs are supposed to be, and everyone just kind of like fence for themselves, clean up after themselves, just like those little things that make your work day a lot better. Everyone understands that, and everyone's just fucking just vibing good, and our teams we take constructive criticism very well, and it's just like, I don't know, it's fucking cool, and then for me to offer, like I said, the benefits and stuff, because a lot of the guys that we have families, they have kids, they have babies and stuff, so it's cool. It's a good feeling that you're able to take care of them.
Do you guys do any type of corporate events, or does that just kind of happen?
We do have corporate events. We do like our red carpet event at the end of the year. We did one at the Beverly Hills. We rented out a fucking mansion and just we did like an award ceremony. We gave like trophies to the athletes. We did awards to like the corporate team and stuff.
So who was all there? You had the athletes, influencers, and the employees?
Yeah, employees, staff, influencers, ambassadors, and we did our close friends and the big retailers and stuff. So they get an award too, because it's sick, just to keep that company culture, that vibe, where people want to be a part of it. So got to keep the employees happy,
Awesome.
And just everything at work is pretty relaxed too, But if we need to get cracking, I'll get cracking. Don't, I'm not soft like that, but you always want to motivate them at the same time. So things are always new and they're always hungry,
Yeah. So do you have like where are you taking this thing? You have like a kind of 2-year vision, a 10-year vision?
Right now we're still trying to scale the online part, but we're taking. There's a lot of things going on now. There's this new project, the capsule thing. Maybe we'll touch on that later.
No, let's touch on it right now.
I was going to touch. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we have this subscription-based box that we're doing, but it's not like your typical box. This capsule box is what we call like your monthly dose of Live Fit. It's a box where you only get exclusive stuff in that box. You can't buy it at the stores. You can't buy it online. So we're making stuff just for that. It's not overstock junk shit.
What are some of those things that you put in it?
What are some of the things?
Yeah.
So
I'm just going to cut you off real quick. Yeah. Do you have any subscription model right now? Or is the capsule the first?
That's the first one. So we just launched it. It's live. We didn't ship the first box yet. It's shipping, like it's going to ship soon.
Gotcha.
So this is like our very first test at it. But the cool thing about like our company, so like when we do expos and stuff like that, we always have a long line because like we're built on social media, right? So we have a fan base. So when we do these events, there's a line to come meet us and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the lines can be up to 4 hours long. So one of the things that you get in this box too are like VIP tickets to the front of the line. Just cut the line, come meet us, maybe like a free shirt and stuff like that. It's like these other, cool things like that. And I feel nowadays the market or companies are so much online. Mm-hmm. When we grew up, I'm sure you can relate too, Mikey. When we grew up, we'd like to have posters, skateboarding posters, tangible shit, CCS catalogs, just like little shit, that's cool. So we're going to provide postcards of our athletes signed in there too, like a thank you card and just stuff that you can keep, posters and shit like that. I don't know if kids still use it, but I hope they do. Stickers, decals, water bottles. And then obviously the exclusive shirts and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's just cool shit, pins and, stuff that fucking tangible goods, dude.
Yeah, that's
I think kids are like lacking that shit right now,
Yeah.
But
and one thing you touch on that I'll ask real quick is who should and should not do subscription. I think everybody's doing it right now, but I think sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, you know what? It's crazy because we didn't know how hard it was to dial in the back end logistics of it.
The logistics,
yeah. So if you don't have your fucking shit down, if you're already having inventory issues or production issues, don't fucking do it because you're gonna have some pretty furious customers. Yeah. And don't do it if you plan on doing overstock shit. You're gonna get bad reviews, and you know what I mean. Like I'm not to throw any other names, but I've seen other companies do it, and then we've seen, because we've done our research. We go on YouTube and look up reviews.
Yeah.
People are just like, dude, I would never wear this.
So they give them overstock, the shirts that people didn't want. They send it out, and no one wants it.
What is yours price at?
Ours is at $70, and the stuff you get in there is like over $100 value. Yeah,
so you're selling stuff that people would actually want.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
because I agree with you. I think some of these boxes are ridiculous. It's like they're playing off of, you're going to forget to cancel this thing.
Yeah.
Which is the worst to do. Which is the worst. If you don't ever want someone to forget, get charged.
I actually really like that. I like that you're doing stuff that is exclusive to the subscription that you can
only get that. We're making custom labels and everything.
And the benefits,
our policy thing is just cancel. There's no contract. So ours is month to month too.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
So
love it.
We don't want to bind anybody, because we've seen it all done before.
Yeah, that's funny because I'm on the. We talk about this a lot. I'm on the page of subscription. I think it's really cool if you can do it well, but it's like everybody wants to do it and everybody tries to do it, and
you just got to know your customers, Yeah. Because ours is like, it's so broad too, like we're throwing wrist wraps in there, just like cool fitness stuff, because a lot of stuff is wear and tear stuff too.
Yeah.
So they're gonna wear through it. Like, might as well throw it in the box every month.
So it sounds like it's a very easy way to unsubscribe. Yeah. Does that mean that you don't really need much customer service, or do you have that? Is that an issue at play?
We have customer service.
Yeah, that was one thing you emphasized. So.
Oh yes. So I guess this is pretty rare too. I didn't know at the time, but now we have an actual like customer service department with a phone line, 9-to-5 phone line, and a live chat. I don't know any other clothing brand that has that, but we have like reps on the phone talking, closing deals, and making sure our customers are happy. And if the out of stock item and whatnot, just because it's direct to consumer, this like these people are like, we have such high volume on our
customer
e-commerce.
Service will turn me away from ever purchasing anything again from a brand.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Like I'll never go back once it happens. Once I get a bad customer, you just never go back. So that's really good.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Yeah, that's really cool. I think that's great.
And then you mentioned a survey. Can you talk about that publicly?
Yeah.
Your process behind that?
Yeah. So we took a survey prior because, we were like, all right, you can either go the men's box or the girls box, you know.
And this was specifically for the capsule program?
For the capsule box, yeah, because the goal is to send them obviously products that you can produce and have them save money. But once you start having more options, it gets harder just on our back end, you know, for women and men, because sometimes the woman likes the guys' t-shirts and likes the guys' hats. So we're like, dude, you know, and we can't please everybody. So we're just going to do like a unisex type of box now, and then asking people like what their favorite color or what kind of other questions do we have. You can talk.
Yeah, like design wise, like what type, like we offer headwear, so what type of headwear do you prefer?
Yeah, you know, just what type of headwear, what type of design stuff, you know, just
and I think
really dialing it in.
I think that
you know?
information is actually really valuable.
Yeah, and with our production time and lead time, we have such a good grasp on that to where we can produce right away. So we would gather all that data prior and on that cutoff date and produce the goods that are going to be in the box 2 weeks, so we don't sit on some overstock and then, you know, ship it out right away.
Where do you get your product made?
We everywhere. A lot of our stuff is here in the U.S. We have some stuff in China. We have some stuff in Pakistan. It just depends on what goods.
Do you do any manufacturing at your place, or?
I used to no, like silk screening. No, we outsource everything. So our center is a distribution center.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what is, I know there's going to be a significant difference in turn time from getting it outsourced in China as opposed to U.S.
Right.
What time frames are you looking at, if you don't mind saying?
As far as let's say the overseas stuff?
Yeah, let's say overseas.
Some of our overseas stuff, it depends, because we have like a few vendors overseas. Some of them can take up to like 6 months. Some of them can take up to 3. Some of them can take like a year.
Okay, so
depending.
We're doing the same stuff. Okay.
Yeah, but all the other stuff that we're doing for like capsule, that's all like U.S. made. So we're getting it all here, all manufactured here, you know, so we can dial it in, get it done in 2 weeks, and boom.
Is it all printables, or do you guys do cut and sew as well?
We do cut and sew. Yeah, we do cut and sew. All cut and sew here too.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah. There's such a massive difference in that.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, dude, it's exciting. I mean, I can see why your brand is having so much success and why it has. You are. It's impressive how you've done it. It's really actually amazing to hear.
And there's some really smart things you've done. It's like you paid your dues. You had 5 companies?
Yeah.
Is that the right number? It's somewhere around there.
Probably,
5 companies, learned your craft. Some very smart things like printing Long Beach. That was really like, I'm just seeing not printed Long Beach. Now think about it. Anybody that sees Live Fit, the first time I saw it, I was like, yes, I want to live. So I just instantly adapted to a lot of smart stuff going on. Go ahead.
Dude, I just got to say this real quick before I forget.
Yeah.
So the first time I ever saw Randall was through Nick, because Nick Dompierre was he was an athlete for us. Athlete at the time. And I remember like, holy shit, like Nick got a sponsorship. And was it bodybuilding or working out?
No, we were sponsoring him for skating.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I saw his Instagram. I was like, damn.
Yeah, he got jacked.
Him for working out,
he was buff, so it made sense, you know?
And then I saw you in his photo, and I was like, who's this guy? I checked him out, right? And then I keep seeing you kind of pop up here.
Yeah, no,
but it was amazing that we connected, and dude, he can fully skate.
I know, dude. It's funny.
I got a text from him first time we texted. He's like, dude, check this video. And he's like,
I sent him this video, dude.
I saw one in your warehouse a couple months ago, like a kickflip board, right?
Yeah, that's what I sent him.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And then you just also, this just came, I just thought of this. You're doing a lot of podcasts recently. So go check out Randall's stuff, man. I watched the Andy Frisella one. What other ones have you done?
I've done
Passionate Few, right?
Yeah, Passionate Few with Omar. I did one with Ed Milet, the Max Out one. I've done dramas, short story long. That's right. Yeah, I just done a ton, dude.
And then this one. And tell us about your team. They're just, if you can't see them, they're off camera, but they're here.
Yeah.
You spoke really highly of them in the pre-interview. So tell us about your team and what they do and who's here.
So right now I have Danny, our video guy right there. We got Miguel, our main photographer, marketing, and like media director, and then David right there. He's just one of my old homies. He used to work, or he does work at the this warehouse stuff, but he has a canvas business that he helps me out with too. He's an artist. Yeah.
What's the business name?
Oh, it's his Instagram. Deep. What is it? Yeah, see that right there? You might want to shorten that and make it easier.
Yeah, because if
you got a tip from Randall
we'll plug you in. We'll put it in the link.
We'll put it in the link.
Yeah, no, he's done some stuff for me too as well. He's done. He just did a ton of stuff for the Rockets guys. Like he'll draw them, but in like a what do you call that? Juxtapose. digital art. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So you can draw
Let's check it out.
your face right here.
Awesome.
So you have these guys with you, and you do a lot of YouTube stuff. You do like a lot of vlogs, that style of thing.
Yep. So the Danny right here, he does a lot of my personal YouTube stuff, and then he does like a lot of the cinematic stuff that you see that looks fucking crazy on YouTube and on our channel. And then Miguel pretty much runs the whole. He does all the photography, all of them for all my brands.
Yep.
And then he does the marketing stuff for the email subscription, and he pretty much runs a lot. He runs the whole capsule thing. I don't know, dude. Like I said, we wear a lot of hats, but he pretty much manages all the other guys that are in the media team, because there's another designer, another video guy. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing here with our company. We don't contract these guys. You know, these guys are all on salary, dude. It's crazy. And I didn't even know that wasn't normal until someone was like, dude, you don't contract? I'm like, nah, dude, these guys are fucking good.
Yeah.
Because we're in that generation where we're always needing content.
Always.
So
that's a good point, though. It's changing.
Yeah.
You need somebody around you all day long.
And it's just to give off that same type of image.
Oh, totally.
Editing, that style, that vibe, you know, because as you start bouncing around it, your brand changes. People get different feelings. This one, it stays constant. You know, Miguel's been shooting since like day one. So like everyone vibes with that type of editing. It's like, oh, that's live fits photo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So.
And it keeps the brand consistent.
So where can everybody find you?
Find me. I have my personal website, which is randall-pich.com. And
P-I-C-H.
P-I-C-H.
And 2 L's in Randall.
Yep, R-E-N-D-A-L-L.
That's right.
Yep.
Do you use Instagram? Is that what you're most active on?
Yep,
so Instagram is
at Randall_Pitch. And then LiveFit is live_fit_apparel. And then I have another brand called Top Threads that's more like streetwear, which is just Top Threads. And then,
Awesome. I love it, dude.
So and that's livefitapparel.com and topthreadsinc.com. But we'll put all the links.
Perfect. We'll link it all.
Description.
Perfect.
But
awesome, man. Well, your story is amazing. We got some good insights here. Can't thank you enough for coming on. Before I close it out, Mike, you got anything else? I think we got some good stuff here.
Yeah. No, I think that was
that was good, dude. I think it was awesome. Thank you guys for having me, dude.
I'm so impressed,
man.
I'm
hyped, dude.
Seriously.
I can't wait till this comes out.
All right, so let's close it down. Anybody who's watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. And if you like what you're seeing, leave us a review. Reviews help us grow and help us get out there. We greatly appreciate them. And any more info, AVNI Intelligence, AVNIintelligence.com. And Randall, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thanks.
Thanks,
buddy.
buddy.
It was a blast.
Awesome.